AMC and GME pump incoming. In today's video, we're going to be talking about possibility of a AMC and GME pump coming very soon, right, to a store near you. Just kidding. By the way, we are also going to be we're also going to be talking about Solana potentially reaching that 144 level as well. So this is definitely a stream you do not want to go ahead and miss out. We will be talking about the updates of the market. Not much action has been going on, but we'll definitely go ahead and see if anything has changed from our prior stream from today, right? So with that being said, do me a huge favor and smash that like button for me if you are tuning in. Let me know down below, are you a holder of AMC and GME? Let me know. And if you are, what are your thoughts? Do you think a massive pump will be coming very soon to us? And how's it going, Happy? Hope you're having a good one today. So we are officially live, so that is good. So now let me go ahead and start sharing this with the community. I'm going to go ahead and get this stream up and running. Give me 1 second. Meantime, we wait for some more people to show up on the stream today. Hope all of you are having a wonderful day today. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, depending on the time you're watching this. Okay, we got that on Discord. We're up and ready. Now let me go ahead and head over to Telegram. Let's go ahead and do this raid now that we're at it here. Let's go ahead and get that up and running. Awesome. So let's go ahead and get this stream started today. Hope all of you are having a good one today. So now let me go ahead and pull out my live stream right here on my phone, just so I can go ahead and read the comments. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get this up and running. We're going to go ahead and start off with some Solana TA. So let's go ahead and take a look at Solana. As we talked about on earlier live streams today, we talked about how Solana is forming this bull flag pattern at the moment, which is actually a pretty bullish pattern, right? So we're going to go and see if this plays off pretty well. Looks like so far we are holding this area. Obviously this is the daily chart, so we haven't gotten the full information as of today if we are going to go ahead and push to the upside, but so far Solana's looking okay. It's not looking the best, it's not looking super bearish, it's looking decent, still riding in this consolidation zone. I do think we will be seeing a massive breakout to the upside, approaching 110 and towards the level of 144 and above, right? So with that being said, just keep your eyes on Solana right now. As I mentioned, this is a really big narrative due to the fact that if Solana does pump, we will go ahead and see a massive pump when it comes to a lot of these meme tokens as well, right? And I'm actually bullish on quite a few meme coins, a few of them being specifically, well, one of them is AMC, right? I'm really bullish on AMC on this. I do believe we will be seeing a break up to the upside very soon. We are looking at the charts right here. We take a look at Bird Eye because I don't know why Dex Tools just looks kind of bad on the charts, but on Bird Eye it does look like we have touched this area of resistance, and if we do go ahead and break the zone right here that we're looking at, we should be expecting a massive pump to the upside, right? So this is our key area we should be focusing on right now on AMC, is breaking and holding around the 3 zone, which if you go ahead and measure this area right here, we're about a 50% away from that, right? So all we have to do is go ahead and pump and reach over 50% in order for us to go ahead and get this up and running. But looking at the 15-minute chart, I do see a massive bullish pattern, and I do see a big cup and handle pattern, right? And that is a really bullish indicator for us to go ahead and take a look at. So we are seeing that cup and handle forming, so we should be expecting some sort of breakout, if not by today, later on tomorrow, right? So a breakout on the 15-minute chart should be happening very, very soon, and I'm definitely looking forward to that breakout movement that we should be having in the meantime, right? So we also have another bullish pattern, I guess, if you were to go ahead and call it. We also see, in my opinion, some sort of W pattern right here, double bottom. Usually with the double bottoms, we are always also followed with some sort of cup and handle pattern before we see this breakout. So that's two patterns right there that are bullish. It does kind of seem like we are forming that head and shoulders pattern, but we did actually break this shoulder right here. So it looks like we might get rejected on the head and shoulders. We hope we do, because we definitely do not want to go ahead and see this on the downside. But that's what we're seeing right now on GME at the moment. Let's go ahead and take a look at the hourly. Right now, the hourly as well, we have this double bottom formed with this cup and handle on the hourly. So we should be seeing some sort of breakout to the upside very, very soon in the next couple hours. If not by tomorrow, we should be up at a very crazy market cap, in my opinion. So we're gonna go ahead and see where things are going. On the daily, we are holding this nice area of support, and even on the daily, we do see this bull flag pattern as well, right? So the reason why we're pumping right now is because we are seeing that breakout pump on GME. So yeah, so that's GME's looking actually pretty good. GME did pretty good today. A few minutes ago, we ended up pumping like crazy. It was up over 40 to 50%. So we saw GME go from a 30 million plus market cap now to a 54 million market cap, right? And this is the same exact patterns that is also showing on GME with AMC. You can't make any of this up. So we do see the double bottom pattern right here holding this nice area of support, and we should be expecting some sort of breakout to the upside on GME as well, right? So GME and AMC are looking extremely bullish, in my opinion. Nothing to go ahead and worry about. Obviously, none of this is financial advice, but I do believe GameStop is going to be approaching that 100 million plus market cap, and we could be seeing AMC on the next area reaching 30 million plus market cap, right? Fully community driven project, which is extremely bullish in my opinion. And if you're looking to go ahead and load up on some Solana, check out BingX and MEXC. Both of these platforms are non-KYC platforms, which means they don't require any kind of documents to create an account, and most importantly, it only takes less than 3 seconds to create an account, right? The good thing too as well is they are offering really good bonuses that you can go ahead and take advantage with all these exchanges. But for all those always asking me, John, what is a pretty good VPN? Well, check out NordVPN offering 69% off with 3 months extra. So definitely go ahead and check them out. This is all fully just for all of you, the community, right? So that's what we're seeing in the charts right now with GME. Not sure if anything specifically has been announced or said. We could go ahead and take a look at their Twitter and see if there's anything going on, but we just see this tweet right here, power to the people for a change. And yeah, that's about it. I mean, they have, finally reached 15,000 holders. We also reached about 5,000 holders not that long ago, but we ended up losing quite a few paper hands as soon as we started seeing this dump, and it should be actually quite the opposite, right? It's like when you start seeing this dump, you should got to take advantage of the dip. But we have been seeing an increase of holders as well on Solana, and the good thing is that all of this is updated, right? So you can go ahead and find all the information updated for Solana that is needed right here on the DEX tools, which is something the community paid for, so that's really freaking cool. I'm still very bullish on the narrative, and I'm very, very excited for what's going to be coming in the next coming days to weeks. Especially we see that massive breakout with Solana right here. As I mentioned, as long as Solana continues to hold this area of support, we should be good. Once we lose this area of support around 93, we could be expecting Solana reaching towards 85, and obviously down to the zones that we've been pretty bearish on since December, right? And these zones will be the zones back down over here around this range, which is something we definitely do not want to go ahead and see, right? We do not want to see Solana lose this area of support because it's not going to look too nice. But if we do break above it, the markets are going to go berserk, and that's kind of the reason why I'm really bullish on AMC and GameStop, because if we do see this massive breakout to the upside in the market, a lot of freaking money will be made in the next couple days, 2 weeks. I think that by the whole entire month of February, we should be having some sort of bullish market, right? Right now, we are seeing altcoins slightly taking a hit, not much action is going on. They're also moving very closely with Bitcoin. Bitcoin right now is in this consolidation phase as well, showing an inverse head and shoulders pattern, which is very, very bullish, right? So we are expecting some sort of breakout very soon for Bitcoin. I definitely do not want to see Bitcoin lose this 41,958 area of support, because if we do, we could be expecting Bitcoin approaching down to the zones of $37,000 to $32,000 in my opinion, right? Also keep in mind, this is a range within the short squeeze. So we do continue to have this momentum held right here, and we do see a breakout in the next coming days. We could expect Bitcoin approaching $48,000 in no problem, right? And I do think $48,000, breaking that, will reach $54,000 and $57,000 Bitcoin. I think that's going to be the last final dump before, the last final pump before the Bitcoin halving that we're having. And talking about the Bitcoin halving, let's go ahead and talk about how many days we have left on the Bitcoin halving, right? We have about 69 days on the Bitcoin halving right now at the moment. So I do think this could be the last final pump that we see on Bitcoin and the whole market before we see a correction, right? So we are, entering meme coin season also around the corner. So it's a lot of more bullish indicators in my opinion, more than bearishness. I've been quite bearish for the longest, and right now I'm a little bit more neutral into the bullishness we're seeing in the crypto, the fear and greed chart. Also, let's go ahead and update this. We are at these levels of greed, which is definitely giving us signs of the market feeling a little bit more bullish than regular, right? The problem would be once we start reaching the extreme greed is where we should be definitely worried. But it is telling us that people are definitely keeping their eyes still on Bitcoin, right? Which is very important for us for the market. We need to go ahead and see this kind of momentum. But overall, we have been seeing this decrease of activity all across the board in the market, right? So definitely it seems like retail is getting exhausted. But this typically is a time when we do see massive reversals incoming. So I can't wait for the next coming days for this market to fully reverse, hopefully. One of the biggest things we're really waiting for is for the market to decide what it wants to do, right? Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? No one freaking knows. I am going to go ahead and show you a few articles right here that we have from earlier today. And we could go ahead and talk about what we could be seeing, right? So we do see a few articles that are important. I think one of the biggest one is Facebook and Instagram now allow Bitcoin spot ETF advertising on their platform, right? I think that's pretty good. That's something that we weren't able to do in this space before. They kind of blocked anything crypto related, a lot of these platforms, because of a lot of scams. And it seems like the scams are back up and running, right? So just be very, very careful with the kind of ads that you do see on YouTube. I've already been seeing a whole bunch of freaking scams with AIs. So be very, very careful on what you click on with ads when it comes moving forward. But we had those kind of similar situations back in 2017 when we had a lot of those cloud mining scam MLMs for crypto, right? I'm not sure if any of you remember that time, but that was freaking crazy, right? So we have that. We also have this chart right here that I want to go ahead and show you with erect capital. The interesting thing about this chart right here is that it's showing that tomorrow will be the beginning of its last week in the pre-halving downside. Face orange before transitioning into the pre-halving rally, face light blue. So this chart is saying that we are finally almost entering that zone where we do have that altcoin rally. So that does mean we could be having this last final pump before we see that correction on Bitcoin, before we consolidate and have the biggest freaking bull run in history, in my opinion, right? So definitely be on the lookout for that. We also have this tweet right here by Titan of Crypto, Bitcoin heading to 48,800. As expected, Bitcoin has reached 43.9 thousand past week and got rejected for its first attempt to break it. Classic Ikomochi sequence. This is the same level to watch this week. If we were to break out, 48.8K would be reached very quickly, in my opinion. And I completely agree. It actually makes me feel pretty good seeing other pretty well respected traders on Twitter saying a very similar TA structure to what I've been talking about these last couple weeks, right? So it seems like a little bit more people are bullish about this narrative of seeing some sort of breakout to the upside, right? We're also seeing, Bitcoin.news talking about how, exchange with Coinbase says many technical factors pressuring Bitcoin and crypto more broadly are starting to be exhausted. And I completely agree. A lot of people are getting to the point where, they were really excited about the Bitcoin ETF, didn't go as planned, kind of told everybody that. And now we're seeing this kind of correction of like a slow market where like it's trying to figure out where Bitcoin's going to go. Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? Altcoins are following Bitcoin right now 101, which typically, when Bitcoin dumps, we see pumps in altcoins, and we haven't really seen that just yet. We saw that all through December. So right now people are now sad because we're not pumping like we were, back in December and January, right? So what people don't understand is that there's a lot of factors that go into all of this, right? How's it going, James? Good morning. Hope you're having a good one today. Feel free to let me know down below if there's any other coins you want me to talk about today. But yeah, so this is another article right here, or tweet if you want to call it, by Seth, just in Bitcoin triangle pattern breakout, most likely scenario in the green path, as I've been talking about, right? I've been talking about how I believe Bitcoin is going more towards a bullish direction. I've been very, very bearish. You can go back to all my videos. Even if we go back to all my content that I posted these last couple weeks, I've been probably the biggest bear compared to most people, right? It's not typically my kind of behavior. I'm usually quite the opposite, right? I guess I enter this controversial kind of side of things in the market all the time because I like to go ahead and push the narratives that people don't see. But as you could go back to my videos, like even down to right here about a month ago, I was talking about Solana reaching this level of $69, and this is where Solana was at its all-time high, right? And I told a lot of you to be very, very careful because we could have been seeing some sort of market correction, which we 100% did see. We never reached that $69 range, but we did reach around 84 and that $80 range, right? As a TA analyst, technical analyst, charter, whatever you want to freaking call me, fundamental trader, I go ahead and go based on the data that I'm provided day to day. So yes, my opinions are going to change day to day, right? I'm not going to stick to the narrative if I'm bullish on something and stick to that bullish narrative, even though knowing that it's no longer bullish, right? Because I'll be very, very foolish of myself to go ahead and keep that mindset. So a lot of people get kind of mad. As I mentioned, traders are here to go ahead and look at the markets both sides because you could enter positions and make money both sides. But as you can see in my videos, I've been quite bearish on Bitcoin for the last 2 weeks and 1 month, right? And as soon as I started changing that narrative was within the time when I started talking about right here around this area where I was making these Bitcoin crash videos coming. I did end up switching the narrative right here 11 days ago, Bitcoin short squeeze incoming, which nobody believed. Everybody was bearish. And that's why I changed my narrative, because when I was bearish, everybody was bullish. And when everybody began to be bearish, guess what? John became bullish and we saw Bitcoin short squeeze. That's why Bitcoin is at the levels that we are at right now. Everybody and their mom was being extremely bearish, shorting Bitcoin at these levels. Like, you don't short Bitcoin at these levels. You short Bitcoin at this range down to the downside. The last thing you want to do is short right here, because what's going to happen is going to create some sort of short squeeze to the upside, because there's going to be a big bear trap that they're setting up, right? And that's exactly what we saw. So right now we're in this narrative where people are still being bearish and are also pushing more to they're more in this neutral space right now, right? So with that being said, I'm more bullish than anything. And yes, I do change my perspectives, and that's what I do, as I mentioned, as a chart analyst, TA guy, whatever the case. I'm here to change my opinion every day, and that's what you should all be doing as well, right? You don't have to stick to the same narrative. I mean, we're getting data every day. We had major news happen over the weekend, or at least towards Friday on market close, where the US attacked Syria, right? Actually launched some missiles. So that's why we saw an overreaction in the market, which also we've been talking about how the US 100, which is the NASDAQ, has been also entering this area of resistance, which is also needed for some sort of correction, right? So not only is that, but like everything in our tools that we've seen, like the DXY, the Dixie, which is the US dollar strength, we are also seeing this inverse head and shoulders pattern, which is very bullish, but it's actually bearish for crypto, right? So it's bullish for the Dixie, but it's bearish for crypto. You know, we don't want the US dollar to go up. We want it to go down, and that's how the markets go up, right? It doesn't follow it all the time. Sometimes Bitcoin does follow it, sometimes it doesn't. For the most part, it usually follows the DXY very closely, but right now we are printing this inverse head and shoulders pattern, getting ready to touch that 104 and above, right? So I do expect maybe some sort of 2-3 red days of the DXY, maybe even 2 days before we see the next leg up to that breakout. But we are going to be having a very volatile week, and the next couple months are also going to be very volatile because the DXY has now finally bottomed and is now showing this reversal sign, right? So the markets are going to be very, very choppy, especially for Bitcoin. So overall, Bitcoin is needed for a correction, and that's why I'm still pushing towards the narrative that, you know, I do see Bitcoin approaching these ranges where there's around $48,000 being the top, or 54 to 57. I think this might be the top for us in the market, where we're going to go ahead and pump. We see Bitcoin, we see all the moon boys get excited with retail thinking Bitcoin's going to go to 100,000. We're going to go ahead and see a dump all the way down to 40 grand or $41,000. We're going to see a consolidation. We're going to have altcoin season start. We're going to have the Bitcoin having start. We're going to have altcoin season starting. So we're probably going to see Bitcoin kind of slow down after this major move, right? Which could either be to the upside or to the downside. I'm pushing more for a bullish side. So I do see Bitcoin approaching $57,000 in the next couple of weeks. Probably by the end of the month, we could be seeing that, in my opinion. And that'll be March, well, February, March. So I would say between like middle of February, towards the end of this month, leading onto mid-March, we should be seeing a lot of more activity with Bitcoin. But I think we should have it done by then, where we see this kind of movement to the upside. But with that being said, that's where altcoin season will happen, and then we have obviously the biggest one, meme coin season, right, which everybody loves. So with that being said, I do believe that we will have this some sort of, you know, top at the Bitcoin. We'll have some sort of consolidation leading into altcoin season, and then summer comes, and then we see that reversal with Bitcoin coming back up, leading into October, November, December, where we usually find a top in the market, right? So that's where we're going to be seeing Bitcoin approach $80,000 to $100,000. In my opinion, I think this December to October of this year, right? So that's where we're going to then see a correction in the market, and then we're going to have the same narrative as we had right here in this cycle right here, where we saw, you know, let's say we see Bitcoin top off at, let's call it 100,000. We see, you know, a 30-40% correction. This is the Bitcoin right here correction that we had, was about 57. Let's say we see a 57% correction from here to here. Let's just call it $50,000. And then leading into 2025, by the end of 2025, entering 2026, that's when we're going to go ahead and see Bitcoin approach these ranges, where we can see Bitcoin approaching over $150,000. And this is where most people are going to get stuck buying Bitcoin, thinking it's going to get hit a million. And that's where we're going to have a massive, massive correction into the market, down to the levels of $40,000, from 160 down to 140. And then the same narrative comes and follows again and again and again until we have the next bull run, right? So that's what I do believe long-term 2024 to 2025 is going to be happening with Bitcoin overall. But short-term, I do believe there is more of a bullish narrative to the upside, and that's kind of the reason why I'm betting a little bit more on the Solana meme tokens. Yes, it's a high risk, it's a high reward, but I do think that our chances are a little bit more on the positive side. Obviously, none of this is financial advice, but this is the reason why I'm being exposed right now to holding on to AMC. I'm not leverage trading right now because the markets haven't given me any signs to go ahead and do so yet. It's very neutral. I'm better off just holding on to my positions on AMC, and I don't have to worry about getting liquidated, right? Just dollar cost average. That's literally what I've been doing. You know, it dumps a lot, but the good thing is that you don't have to worry about liquidations, and I really go to sleep pretty well. You know, I don't go to sleep panicking because I understand what AMC is doing and what GME is doing, and I know the potential behind both of those projects. And I know that GME is going to go ahead and push towards that 100 million market cap, and we will be following behind their footsteps. And keep in mind, supply on GME is a lot lower, on AMC is a lot lower. We're at $1 billion, and GME is at 6 billion. It's actually like about 7, but let's just say 6 billion. So they have a lot more supply than we do, right? So they have about 5x, a little bit more than 5x, but just call it even numbers, a 5x more supply than AMC, right? So realistically, AMC could surpass GME, but that's going to be all left to the community. So with that being said, I'm pretty exposed to meme tokens right now. My biggest bag holding right now being AMC. I've been early on since 400,000. You know, I got in AMC early on. I literally got in at around these ranges. I'll go ahead and show you right now. I got around these ranges right here, and then it dumped 90%, and then I bought in into these ranges right here. So I got in within all this whole entire zone right here. Under $1 million is usually the area that I got in. A diamond bag, my whole entire bag. And then unfortunately, 2 days ago, I accidentally sold 30% of my position, which I was very, very pissed at 3 million. You know, still profits, but I accidentally sold it when I was using my bank buy. I was transferring some money because I needed to get some money for food, and all I needed was an extra $10. So I meant to say, you know, meant to try to sell only $10 to $20 of my position, but I ended up selling 30% of my position. So unfortunately, I sold 30% of my position, let's call it right here, and at 3 million market cap, and I re-entered my position right here. You know, so it kind of sucked because, and then we saw it dump all the way to 1 million, and I was like, F, I should have freaking waited. I knew I should have waited. But I just bought in. I was like, you know what? Honestly, I really don't care about my entry, because whether it's at 3 million or 1 million, yes, that could have been a 2x of me having more tokens, but I'd rather just hold on to my position. I'm not looking to go, I don't have to worry about liquidations. I don't have to worry about the price action. So these are the areas that I bought in AMC right here, and then I accidentally exited right here, and I re-entered with the same money that I took profits with at a higher position, which I'm pretty bothered about, but I mean, it is what it is. And I'm just trying to showcase you that it's very difficult to time the tops and bottoms with these kind of tokens. Very, very freaking difficult, right? So we could sit here and do a lot of TA, but it's going to be kind of a iffy, you know, where things are going. So for me, I'd rather just dollar cost average when it comes to this. Like, why time the market when you could just dollar cost average, right? If you know the narrative, you understand how crazy the community is going to be, why not just dollar cost average and hodl, right? I usually never say that, but that's how bullish I am about AMC, and that's how bullish I am about GME as well, right? So I do believe AMC and GME will definitely bring in a lot of opportunities for us to make money. So I would definitely consider all of you to check this out. As I mentioned, you can go ahead and check out the platforms, BingX and Bybit, right? Or no, sorry, BingX and MEXC. These both platforms are non-KYC, which you can go ahead and load up on some Solana, right? Load up on some Solana and buy some meme tokens. I've been talking about buying meme tokens for over 2 weeks, you know, and you know, that's typically not something I say. I'm usually not that kind of guy. I'm usually the person to be leverage trading meme tokens, but not trading and buying and holding meme tokens. I don't believe in that narrative, right? I don't believe in holding meme tokens, and this is the only meme token that I'm holding on to right now is AMC, all right? Eventually, I will be trading GME because of the volatility to add more to my AMC bag, but I don't ever really push the narrative of holding on to meme tokens, you know? I'm the type of person to tell you, you know, make your money and run off and make your nut and F the community, right? But this narrative is different, chat. I felt it from the beginning. So far I've been right, and it doesn't mean I'm going to continue to be right. But, you know, the signs were in front of our faces. You know, I was just literally making a search. This is the reason why you saw me search AMC on Solana on YouTube. And it turns out that, you know, obviously I'm the first one on here freaking making videos, right? So like, I was one of the first to talk about AMC, and we're slightly seeing a lot more YouTubers talk about it, right? So this is good. I like to go ahead and see that. So we see crypto news right here. up right now, talking about, 4 days ago. We also see Vision Pulse analysts also talk about it 5 days ago. So this is really cool in my opinion. And we search up GME on Solana, and you're going to see how many influencers are actually talking about this, right? So we just put, let's do autocorrect, did it. We're going to do GME on Solana, and look at this, 8 days ago, 6 days ago, and obviously me right now. And then we see 7 days ago, and that's about it. Like, there's not that many Ben Crypto 3 days ago. There's not that many YouTubers, influencers, whatever you want to call us, talking about AMC or GameStop. Like, yes, there's a good little handful, but we haven't hit the major influencers with 500,000 to 1 million talking about this, right? So you're like, John, what are you trying to say, and where are you trying to get at? Well, what I'm trying to tell you is that this is the beginning, chat, even for GME. I would never buy GME at these high levels, and I had the opportunity to buy GME at like 10 million market cap, but I'm glad I didn't, because I doubled down on AMC. And so far, AMC is going to pay me more money than I would have been in GME, right? I'm not saying you can't make money on both, because I do wish the best for GME, because GME pumps, we pump along with it. So I wish nothing but the success for GME in the community, because I am in the AMC community. But I do believe AMC has a bigger potential, and right now AMC is a sleeping giant. GME, it's slightly rising, and you're seeing some influencers talk about it, but no major influencer just yet talk about this at all, right? So this should definitely go ahead and make you feel bullish, right? And I'm not telling you to throw your whole life savings into this. I'm telling you, be considerable of at least throwing 50 to 100 bucks, and you won't regret it. Worst comes to worst, AMC and GME pump. Let's say GME pumps to $1 billion. Let's say AMC pumps to 100 million, and you put in 100 bucks. Are you going to be sad and crying that you 10x your 50 to 100 bucks? You're probably going to be pissed off that you didn't, double down on your position, right? So obviously, we don't know where things are heading. I don't know where. I can't tell you and sit here and tell you buy, because I'm not going to go ahead and tell you that. I'm not the type of person to say, buy something. But I would just let you off with this. Just be considerable of being leveraged to meme tokens, whether that's AMC, whether that's GME, whether that's another freaking community token you care about that's on Solana. Be exposed to meme tokens right now. Have a few dollars exposed to the meme sector right now on the memes, because I do believe with everything that we're seeing, we will be seeing a continuation. And we're seeing that right now. I mean, look at this Trump token up 85% on the 24-hour volume, and this thing looks like it's going to be getting ready for another rip to the upside, right? So just be on the lookout for that. I think right now this is the time to be slightly exposed to these higher risk tokens, but I'm not telling you to put your life savings into this. I'm telling you, just be exposed to it. Throw 50 bucks, put 20 bucks, put 10 bucks, put whatever you feel comfortable losing, right? As I mentioned, worst comes to worst, if we see a dump in the market, then it's not going to look too good. It's obviously going to be very, very bearish, right? But the thing is that I've noticed is that if Solana was to dump, let's say down to the lower levels of 80 again, or 60 or 50, the only tokens that are going to be successful, are going to be running, are going to be the community-driven projects, right? So those are going to be the ones that are going to succeed regardless of the price action of what the market's doing, in my opinion. Yes, there's going to be a temporary correction, but typically the community-driven projects are the ones that take off when the market kind of dumps, right? But if we see the market pump and we see Solana break past $144, or let's call it 100, and I think it was 10 that I said. Let me go ahead and pull up the charts. If we even see Solana break past 110 and above this zone right here, we could be seeing Solana approach 144 and 150, in my opinion. And any meme token riding on Solana is going to pump. They're going to do like a 10x plus. And if they have a strong community, best believe you're going to see 30 to 100x's coming out the door once we see Solana push to these upside levels, right? So that's the reason why I'm being very, very bullish, is that I'm saying that, in my opinion, there's more of an upside, there's more of a possibility of an upside pump happening than a downside. And that's why I'm saying maybe consider being exposed to Solana meme tokens. And worst comes to worst, let's say worst comes to worst, it doesn't go as we planned, you only lose 50 to 100 bucks, right? Because that's what you're willing to risk. But let's say best comes to best situation, you do throw in 50 to 100 bucks because you were watching this live stream, and as a friend, as John being your friend, you know, friend talk, because we got friend talks, right? I'm not a financial advisor, but friend to friend, brother to brother, sister to brother, brother to sister, I would say it won't hurt having $50 to $100 on AMC or GME or any token you want to invest in on meme tokens. I would say AMC is your best bet. But as I mentioned, you could do whatever you want. But if I were me and I was talking to a very close friend of mine, like all of you are technically, right? I would say put in 50 to 100 bucks on AMC and just let it ride. See where things go. If it hits 30 million, you could go ahead and cash out, man. You're going to be making, you know, you could be turning your 100 bucks into $1,000. You're going to be complaining about $1,000 now. You know, you're not going to complain about it. You're probably going to kick yourself in the head for not putting more money. But besides the point, you're not going to be too mad that you're making money, right? So I think the odds are more in our favor than they're not. So that's why I'm pushing be invested into the meme tokens right now. Not something I would typically say, but I have been talking about this these last couple of weeks about risk on behavior going on in the market. And we're seeing that right now with the fear and greed reaching these levels of greed when the market is really not giving us a full perspective of where the market's going, right? It is pushing more of a bullish, but it still hasn't had that breakout. We could break down to the downside anytime, and we could be seeing a pretty big, massive correction. Suave, how's it going, man? Hope you're having a good one. James says, as all portfolio is in same or in downside, then let me know next gem that will pump 1000x in 24 hours, so there is some fun. Crypto, I wait for Pith to go up as I'm long on it. Nice, man. That's really good. I know we've been talking about Pith for a while. And see, the thing is, the reason why I've been focusing so much right now on Bitcoin analysis is because Bitcoin's kind of moving the whole entire altcoin sector. And it's not something we have happen very, very often. It's typically is Bitcoin dumps and altcoins pump and meme tokens, but it hasn't been that way so far, right? So that's kind of what we're seeing right now at the moment. So we just got sent, what do I think about GameStop on ETH? I mean, I don't know what to tell you, bro. I mean, probably bullish. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. See, the thing is just, you know, just ETH MEXC is doing it on ETH. I guess it's pretty cool. I mean, maybe this thing runs up too as well with actual GameStop. So I'll definitely keep my eyes on this, man. As I'm saying, it doesn't hurt to be exposed to the market, right? Like, it doesn't hurt to try, you know, throw in maybe $100 and see where things happen. These things like this are very, very hard to predict where things could be going, right? So I just be very careful, because I don't want to tell you, you know, it's 100% going to go up, because I don't know, right? But, you know, based on what we see, there's a possibility that this thing's going to take off, because we know how, you know, how there's ETH maxis out there. So, you know, I'd consider throwing some money on this. I'll keep this on my watch list and see where things will possibly be going. Let's see. Amhid, how's it going? Yep, I bought some AMC at 3.75. Nice, man. Nice. So did I. So it kind of puts us both in the same boat, right? Bonkcoin, goated. Hey, how's it going, bro? I have never seen you, so welcome to the channel, by the way. And feel free to comment down below any questions that you have. But, you know, right now, this is the time, as I mentioned. I know it's really repetitive, chat. I really wish I had new information. We're all waiting patiently for this breakout to happen. And until we see this breakout happen, the narrative is going to change. But people overreacted because we had a war kind of start. You know, the US ended up striking Iran, ended up launching missiles on Friday, closing the stock market on a Friday, right? So after that happened, and I'm not laughing, I'm laughing at how ridiculously predictable this was. I told a lot of you Friday on the stream that as soon as the stock market closed green, I said, watch out for the US to make an attack on Syria more than likely. They're probably going to launch some missiles in Syria. They're probably going to go ahead and launch an attack. And literally as soon as I ended my live stream, I later now find out, like a couple hours later after the second live stream I did tonight, that night I meant on Friday, exactly what happened. The U.S. ended up striking Syria with missiles. So like you can't make any of this up, right? So this is the reason why the market kind of took a little hit, because people woke up to those news on Saturday and they panicked first thing coming Monday. They're like, oh snap, dude, like I'm selling like this, I'm panicking, you know, and that's retail being panicking right now at the moment. And you know, they're going to go ahead and buy up the dip. I think it's still going to continue to rip to the upside. Yes, the stock market is due for the correction. Yes, Bitcoin's also due for a correction. But I do believe there's one last pump on both the stock market and Bitcoin before we see a downtrend, right? Before we see a downside. And I think that could be leading into the Bitcoin halving. I don't know why I keep on saying altcoin season, into the altcoin halving, into the Bitcoin halving, right? So that's why I believe there's going to be one last final pump in the market before we see that major correction where everybody starts freaking out, and that would be leading into the halving for one of the biggest bull runs in history, right? That's solely my opinion. We'll see where things go, but this is the time where I would be loading up on meme tokens, you know, and then get ready for longs. Get ready to long the market, in my opinion. And you could go ahead and do that with these platforms down below, BingX and MEXC non-KYC platforms. Bybit offering over $30,000 in bonuses. And if you're in need of VPN, you know, you have to go ahead and consider your privacy and be very, very careful with malicious attacks out there right now, especially with crypto. If you dabble in crypto, you need to have a VPN at all times or you will get hacked, right? So consider checking out NordVPN, offering 69% off with 3 months extra. But yeah, that's pretty much it with the markets. We should be seeing some sort of breakout to the upside, in my opinion, but as I always like to say, or the downside in the next couple of days. So we should be getting a little bit more of a understanding. I would say no later than by Thursday we should have some sort of breakout. I would say no later than Friday, but I think we should be having some sort of movement closer and sooner than that, unless we consider, unless we what is it called, we continue to consolidate in this range, which is also possible. But I do believe we should be seeing some sort of breakout, maybe no later than Thursday on the market, and that's going to push the market to the upside. And when AMC and GME pump, good luck catching that freaking pump. That's all I got to say. So yeah, that's pretty much it on my end. I hope all of you have a wonderful day. Make sure to check out, you know, everything that I mentioned, and I'll go ahead and catch all of you later on.